Let's talk about shortages. Let's bring in Candice Mason from Mason Coaches based in Hertfordshire, who've had a driver shortage for 2 years now. Candice, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for joining us. Does that big figure, 606,000, does that mean anything to you? Are you representing any of those numbers by recruiting drivers from abroad?
I mean, I am talking on behalf of the whole coach industry, really. We're a family, generational businesses. There's about 3,000 coach operators in the UK, and every single one of us have had a driver shortage for the last 2 years. And we've been campaigning to get drivers listed on the shortage list, but for whatever reason that hasn't happened. I mean, ultimately, our industry cannot operate without skilled workforce. They have to have a special license, and it can take some time to get them ready for that license. And we just do not have enough staff. Now, a few years ago, there was a big campaign for HGV drivers, and the government did a really good job of recruiting to that industry. But what they did was actually take more from our industry. So I think across there's it affects bus and coach. But in the coach industry, in our industry, we're about 10,000 drivers short at the moment.
Can't you train those drivers? I mean, not
Yes.
you single-handedly, 10,000, but...
Yes. Yeah, no, and we all are doing that. There are some limitations to that. So it costs about £3,000 to £5,000 to put a driver through a licence, which off the back of a couple of years of the pandemic and not earning the same salaries, the same income, it's been very financially difficult. We've also had fuel surges, which have dramatically impacted income into coach industry businesses. The other thing, though, is that we can't really start training them until after they're 21. So there's a big gap between when people are looking for careers where we miss out on them. It's very difficult to get them insured. Some of our vehicles are worth 300,000, and so there are lots and lots of barriers to being able to do that. And as speaking on behalf of my personal business, we're a small family company. To train, I'm about 6 drivers short most of the time at the moment. To train 6 drivers up to the tune of about £5,000 each is a big outlay for us.
I bet. Hilary, we have a huge labour shortage. We're hearing Candice talking about missing 10,000 drivers that their industry needs. Yep. And yet we've got record numbers of migrants. So what's going on? Why is there this mismatch? Why aren't some of those people coming in simply filling these jobs?
Well, of course, a lot of people that are coming for study reasons. So they're obviously not going to be looking for work. They're going to university, college, wherever. So they have to come out of the equation. And of course, the other thing that, like your other reporter has been saying here, that people don't necessarily come in with the skills they want, so that the coach industry is suffering. And so there's a mismatch of people that are coming in. They are going into some core vacancies that we have that need filling, but there are others, and we are not getting people to come in to take those jobs. So, I mean, the UK has a skill shortage, and we have to do something to address that, really. And immigration is not the only thing that we should be looking to.
Candice, would raising pay help fill these roles? So we've had a text from Les who says, ask the coach operator what the wages are. £10.50 and 60 hours. Garbage, says Les. Well, I don't know what you pay, but is there a perception that it's not?
I'm very happy to talk about what we pay, because we have increased our wages by about 20% in the last year. So it's quite a big hike. Again, another outgoing that we were struggling with on the back of the pandemic. Les makes a very good point. I've commented since we came out of pandemic that people's work-life balance needs have changed, and that has been a big impact on us trying to staff a business. It's a business that runs 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and people don't want to work that level of hours. They don't want to work unsociable hours anymore. People want to try and work from home and raise their children. I completely understand all of that. So one of the things we've done is tried to change our rotas so that we're not working the 60 hours that Les might comment on, but that actually we're trying to understand that our staff need a family work-life balance and a higher salary to be able to manage that. We have tried to implement that. The problem with that is that or the challenge with that is it increases the gap of drivers that you need. Now, I was at a meeting with the Ministry of Transport before Christmas. I was at Houses of Parliament last week. We raised this. What happens is where we change those schedules to give people that family balance that they want, it increases our skills shortage gaps. So it's a really fine balance. And I can't say that we're winning at it all of the time, but we are trying. And there are a lot of coach operators that are trying to understand and put that in place. There are other avenues within our own personal business, and mechanical teams are very integral to us being able to operate the business. And there is also a skills shortage there. I think what's actually happening, and I have a background in some education establishments, we're pushing our students to be high achievers and do very well. And that's brilliant. We want them to go off to university and get degrees and study and have high aims. But there are people that we need to capture that perform the integral jobs within the nation for the wheels to keep turning quite literally across the country.
We've had a text that says you're missing the point on immigration, which is the government missing its net migration target for 10 years. The government does want to get the figure down, doesn't it? What's it doing?
Well, one of the things it's doing is it's going to remove the right for some overseas students to bring family members with them, because that's been another source of increasing immigration figures. But of course, when you look at them, pre-Brexit, the average number per year was between 200,000 and 250,000. So it's more than doubled. And also, in the past, the government has said it wants to bring it down below 100,000 people, but that really doesn't look like a very realistic aim at the minute. We do need to bring in workers to fill these shortages we've got. And it is quite right that, possibly we have been very proactive in sending young people to university, which is obviously a very good thing. But there are other occupations which for some people might be a better choice. And, the government has brought in these sort of T levels, so a sort of more technical type education. So maybe when young people are coming out of that system, they may be attracted to sort of, driver roles in the coach industry or similar type occupations. But that isn't something that we're going to see come to fruition for a couple of years.
Hilary Ingham from Lancaster University Management School and Candice Mason from Mason Coaches. Thank you both so much for joining us. Really insightful chat there. Thank you very much. Now,